All right, welcome to the third marathon episode of NC-17. I am with my boy, the George, not to be mistaken with the dude. But no, seriously. So I have a bone to pick with some of these superhero movies.
All right.
Like, in what reality is Metropolis right next to Gotham? No reality, not even on paper.
They're not even close.
Exactly.
So was it what across like Canada close, like across the river? Because the
Yeah.
shit that happens in Metropolis, Batman should have like I can hear it going over there.
Yeah.
Same with the soups.
Oh yeah.
Gotham be cleaned up.
Yeah.
Superman's right there.
Oh yeah. My thing is like you got all these superhero movies. Like, all right, DC is trying to revitalize their whole genre over there. But okay, you got Amber Heard turd who is going to be back in Aquaman 2. So there goes that one. I don't know. I actually do want to see Aquaman 2. I don't care that she's in it. I just want to see it because I know it's a continuation of probably one of the best DC movies that's out there.
Rip it off before you go see it. Then you say, "Hey, I didn't put money into this."
But I will say though, like Justice League, the theatrical version was nowhere near as good as Zack Snyder's. I said D. Snyder from Twisted Sister. But no, none of like Zack Snyder's Justice League was better than just the regular Justice League.
Wait a minute, what are you talking about? Which one? The long one?
Yeah, the long one.
The long. You think the Joss Whedon's better than that one?
No. I think that Zack Snyder's Joss Whedon was the one
Oh
who,
yeah, right.
yeah,
Yeah, right. Okay, I got it now. Yeah, the Marvel guy.
yeah,
No, you're right. You're right. I'm not even gonna say hands down, but you're right. I appreciate the fact that they allowed him. He touched it up,
hmm
cleaned it up good, and they made Steppenwolf better
yeah,
than what got the first one because all it was a video game guy. I just saw. I was like, okay, that's one of Darkseid's kid. At least we get to see Darkseid. I wanted to see Darkseid. I long for Darkseid.
oh yeah,
I take Darkseid over Thanos. Thanos would be like, shit, hope this glove works. Darkseid is just, man,
you know what though?
Darkseid's my man. Yeah.
The thing is like if you want to talk real good superheroes and real good super villains and stuff like that, I don't think like Titans like Thanos or you know um
Darkseid's my dog.
yeah, or Eternals and stuff like that.
Never seen him.
My thing is when you want to talk a true villain, is a true villain someone who wants to rule the world? Obviously. Is a true villain someone who wants to rule the galaxy? Obviously. You know who the real true villains are? The ones who are the last people picked to be on the evil team because those are always the people who are striving to be the next best thing. So while you got Thanos, you have a toad in the background waiting to strike that, axe while it's hot. Does that make sense?
It does.
I'm not saying Toad could ever beat Thanos, but I'm just saying, you know, it's like you got all these characters who can't die, but somehow you still manage to kill them. You know?
Yeah. No, I get it because the person that's in the back shadows knows all the weaknesses and he studies. He studies the boss.
Exactly.
He studies the boss and he can't kill him fighting him. He can't face him out. He's gonna kill him to what he's got.
Oh yeah.
And
Now I do got a question though. Now that we've touched on the superhero stuff, let's talk about some lesser known horror movies. Whether it be zombies, vampires, whichever. Let's go zombies.
uh,
Lesser known zombie movie. One of the best ones I think I could come up with is The Granny, starring Stella Stevens.
I never seen that. I know the cover because in the cover like that.
Yeah.
It was a Tromaville, wasn't it?
No,
It
no,
wasn't Troma.
no. So The Granny starred Stella Stevens, and she she was an old lady who drank this potion, and somehow, she died. She came back to life and started killing all her family who was trying to steal her fortune. Also stars Shannon Wary, who was known for a lot of those late night cable Skinamax movies. But she was also, I don't know why I just quoted her, but anyhow, she was also if you've seen Me, Myself, and Irene, the Jim Carrey comedy, she's the one lady who was breastfeeding the baby, and then
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. I thought you said Shannon Tweed. I know who that is now.
Oh yeah. Oh no, Shannon Tweed. She was in a lot of those Skinamax movies
Yeah,
too.
hell yeah.
But let like the Granny was good. Great, no. Good enough to own, yes. Hard to find, most definitely.
Okay, but you said a zombie movie. Is it just her as a zombie, or is it multiple zombies in it? I mean, we're talking.
Well, it's a different version of zombie because they don't eat you, but they kill you, and when you get killed, you come back to life. So in essence, that's a zombie.
That's what I mean. I mean,
Yeah,
is it zombie flick like a
yeah.
bunch of them, or it's just her doing it?
Oh no, it's a bunch of like she starts killing her whole family, and
Okay,
you know,
that's something. That's something I would dig up, and I'll find it. I'll watch it because my particular one, and it took a while, and I'm glad they made they made like some sequels off of it, and they Americaned it too, which that was a mistake. Wreck,
oh, Wreck was great.
Wreck,
Wreck was great.
Wreck was actually creepy. I mean, I and this is before all like this final girl, whatever. I mean, I was rooting for this girl,
Oh yeah,
and I felt bad when she got dragged off, and it surprised me when she showed up on part two,
oh yeah.
and she blew the head off of that. I call it the Blair Witch. that because it was about to stick. She blew the head off, and I was like, damn, okay, there's a chance. So she became like my Ash
Yeah,
in that series, and then so forth. Then the wedding. Oh, I love that wedding one. Um, there you go. She was a wedding with a chainsaw,
oh
a
yeah,
bridesmaid with a chainsaw, the bride with a chainsaw.
oh
And
yeah. That was good.
four four was good too. I gotta watch it again because I barely remember it. I do know it was on a boat, and they were fighting for something, and barely there was some zombies,
Yeah,
but it wasn't fleshed out like the first three movies. You know how
yeah,
the first one was building up to it. Oh, but I that scene, if anybody's seen this movie, Wreck, when the girl looked down and everybody all looked up at her, like in that scene from Demons, how they all looked up because you saw even you saw the guy, um, the firefighter,
yeah.
he looked up, and it was so they were running up the stairs and they had the keys that unlock that door, so you felt for them. I just think that the what do you want to call it? Reality, I know reality, you're not going to carry a camera with you like that. A pack of zombies are chasing you, but sure, I kind of get it. Part two, I got it even better because the cameras were attached to these guys.
Yeah.
It was already on there. And, but no, Rec gets a solid, like a 10 out of 10. I give it like a 20.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry that my rating is, it's not 10 out of 10, 5 out of 5.
Oh no, you're good.
I
You ain't gotta
see it
apologize.
I see it as
Better than a 10.
Better than a 10. There we go. There you go. You strike it.
You know what though? Let's talk about this. Let's talk about a movie that you brought up and that you showed me. Project Wolf Hunting.
Yeah,
That's a great movie. Not a zombie movie.
I like that shit.
That was a good movie.
I like that.
Yeah.
Oh, Project Wolf Hunting.
Yeah.
That's a must.
Yes. I can't wait for part 2.
That's a must. I hope there's a part 2 coming out soon.
Gosh darn it. You want to talk zombies? Probably 2 of the best zombie movies that came out in the last 20 years.
I like that shit.
Train to Busan. Excellent. And The Sadness. You know what? Those movies, all right. I do ratings 1 to 10, 10 being best. Train to Busan, Hall of Fame. Sadness, legacy.
Beyond, right?
Yeah.
Right. I don't know if there were zombies, but
I mean, first off, and we got to keep it kind of PG-13. But first off, let's face it. You sit there and you're watching this movie, and all you see is blood, guts, tits, and ass. I mean, if they ain't biting you or screwing you, they're stabbing you.
they're stabbing you, or it's porn on acid.
You know, like just the one scene where the lady walks into the restaurant and pours. I'm like, what?
Cooking oil. Oh,
Like, I mean, that's
sticking hands in the wound.
that's what I call a face off.
Oh man, makes you don't eat pizza when you're watching that scene.
No. But how quick did they turn? Like, if you got bit, you were turning within seconds.
You got touched. You just got the smile and tears are running down your eyes.
Oh yeah.
But Project Wolf Hunt. That's
that one scene with the
that is like that movie with Nicolas Cage was in. What was that movie when they're all being transported on the bus, the prisoners?
Con Air.
Con Air. It's like Con Air,
but only the
man.
Taiwan version.
Yeah,
yeah.
They were
and
put
they're on
on
a boat.
They were put on this boat
Ooh.
for an experiment, and they had a secret weapon on there that came to life. You get the idea, but it shockingly surprised me because in my mind I predict movies. I think okay, that person's gonna live. That person's dead. Oh, she's a girl boss. She's gonna get away with it. Or the guy's gonna do all the work. She's gonna get away with it. Surprised me.
Oh yeah.
Real. I mean,
now
a must.
Oh yeah. When you told me about this movie, at first I was like, I'm gonna take it and watch it because you and I have similar tastes. I mean, there's some that we may agree on and some that we may not agree on, but for the most part, we always agree. So when I was watching it, I was like, he hasn't lied one bit. This is probably one of the best movies I've seen in a while.
You like blood, you love blood.
Oh yeah, I mean, just the way he offed one dude. Don't want to spoil too much, but just the way he offed one dude. I mean, that was graphic.
I thought you were about the hammer scene. I mean, I can spoil it, but get the idea. Comment down below. Let us know about the Project Wolf Hunting. Man,
yeah,
I'll watch. That's gonna be my Halloween pick.
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna watch this. Watch that shit.
Going back on the Halloween horror music.
Watch that shit.
Oh yeah. Going back on the Halloween horror music. American Werewolf in London. That had some good music.
Oh right. Oh yeah, it took me a second. You talking about the Blue Moon?
Yeah.
The whole Blue Moon thing?
Yeah. But see, best horror movie soundtrack, hands down, is always going to belong to Demons.
Yeah, you think it's got variety of songs on
That's
there.
right.
Billy Idol, Springfield's on there. What's the other ones?
So I think there's Van Halen.
Jeez, Motley Crue is one of them. I know
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But Billy Idol because it was a white wedding. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
that's it.
Well, you can't talk Billy Idol's music in movies without talking about Adventures in Fort Fairlane. Did you think we killed a koala? I'm like, when he said that, I was like, you fool. But that was a great movie.
Fort Fairlane barely gets talked about. That was a good movie. But
Uh,
that actually, well, he was getting up there. Why he doesn't like his own movie, but
uh,
I I enjoyed it.
he's all like, you got a 65 Cadillac. Doom, doom. I was like,
Oh yeah, his song, yeah.
oh yeah, but I ain't got you. I'm sitting there thinking like, what the hell? This dude's a rock and roll detective, and now he's a rock and roll singer.
And for years, if you guys seen Fort Fairlanes, I actually thought that guy was the flute player.
Oh yeah,
What was his name? He was in the '90s. He played the flute. I mean,
Kenny G.
Kenny G. I thought Kenny G was that singer, and he made fun of.
Yeah.
You know which one? Remember?
Oh yeah.
That's why he sang that song.
You know who I was surprised was in that movie though? Warrior.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
what?
He was the jerk off. Oh, sorry, beater. Calling that.
Man.
Oh yeah.
But here's a kicker about Fort Fairlane. That was the first movie Lauren Holly was ever in.
That was
From
her?
Yep, she played his assistant.
Yeah. I didn't know.
Jazz.
Jazz, yeah, jazz.
That also had Carrie Warner in it. She played the sorority sister.
Which girl?
Uh, though when his car broke down,
Yeah, I remember that scene, the
and,
sorority scenes.
and she's the one like, "Hey, private eye guy." Yeah. Shoot.
Wow.
He sits in that sorority. He's the only dude, and he's like, I'm like, I'll be
Yeah.
right there with you, bro. Shoot, but
The
see,
creator of love.
oh yeah,
The
the cradle of love, yeah,
creator of love. How do I remember this? I
because
don't remember. I remember
we're
this?
sick in the head about movies.
Yeah, right. Right.
Yeah,
Bowl of cereal. Big bowl of cereal.
like I mean, I love horror movies, but I watch them all. It's not just one. It's not just two. I watch them all. I watch Disney because of the wife. You know, not watching it because I want to.
I don't watch that.
But let's go a little bit off off the rails for a minute.
Mhm.
Okay, so the Toxic Avenger. The original was classic.
I don't like that shit.
However, I don't think I'm gonna like the remake.
You heard about the remake?
Eh,
Yeah.
I mean, nothing wrong against Peter Dinklage. He's a great actor. Tyrion from Game of Thrones.
It's just gonna be more money. It's just
Yeah,
gonna
cash
be
grab.
yeah. It's just gonna it's a corporate. It's a corporate thing.
Oh yeah.
Guy sitting in a room. Just put the little guy in it. Da 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 da. I mean, as far as I know, they said they actually went trauma on it. They said there's going to be two versions to it.
Yeah.
There's going to be an uncut version to it with the gore, and it's kind of more of a son, father and son thing.
Oh yeah.
That's what basically this movie's going to be about. But I hope. What did this say? When is that coming out? The remake
Next year sometime.
next year. Well, you know what? It's only 3 months away. Why not? Toxic Avenger.
Oh yeah.
That movie went all and out. That first one. And beating no ladies with a cane, flattening one on an iron board, a sewing board, whatever it is. Running kids over. Shit.
Turning the dwarf into a basketball. What is wrong with?
Oh, that was Michael Jai White's first movie.
Yeah, yeah,
That was Jai
yeah.
White's first movie. I remember that.
So here's the funny thing: Trauma actually, Trauma started in a basement.
I know where it's at. I've been there. I haven't gone. It's a museum now.
Yeah,
The basement is a museum now.
yeah,
But it's practically it's in New Jersey.
yep.
It is in New Jersey. I seen it. Somebody pointed it out to me, and we went in there. Yeah, it was a museum. But yeah, the history was it took place in the basement.
Yeah. See, like a lot of people say, in order to be able to make classic movies or make great movies or to do this or to do that, you have to go to school for it. That's not necessarily true. I mean, there's a lot of people out there who are doing their shoulda, coulda, wouldas with, like diplomas and degrees.
Blair Witch proved it.
Oh yeah, shoot, 3 people with a camera out into the woods. That's
They proved it.
yeah.
I bet a lot of inspired act directors were pissed.
Well, see, Abby said it right in the last episode. The marketing for the Blair Witch, you said it right too. The marketing for the Blair Witch was so on point. They had no choice but to. They knew it was going to be a mega hit.
Yeah.
I mean, if you really look at it though, movies nowadays can take the budget of $500 and make billions.
Oh,
You know?
sure. Blair Witch did it. Halloween did it. They just did it.
Oh yeah,
But like I told you, mine's his Book of Shadows, even though it's underrated.
yeah.
So something else I wanted to talk about that a lot of people don't talk about at all. I never even hear it come up. It's touching base with a different subject of horror movie. Horror movies. What about character studies? Like serial killers, for an example.
Like again, no, that's Texas
No,
Chainsaw
no,
Massacre.
that's all Texas, yeah.
Like Ted Bundy.
Kind of like Ted Bundy, but I'm also that's true story stuff. Um, I wanted to talk about the 1987 or 88 movie with Judd Nelson. He was a phone book killer. Relentless is what it's called.
Oh, that was good.
You remember that one?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
That one was inspired by the oh, I forgot his name. He was inspired by the Los Angeles killer. He would come to your house and choke you with the wire. He was a Latin guy too. I
Yeah.
don't remember his name. God, I'll remember. Eventually, I'm gonna remember it. But that was another one too that nobody talks about. So I want to give Janilson his prop.
Well, see, here's the thing. So Judd Nelson started taking movies to break the image of the Brat Pack. I'm not Brat Pack,
Yeah, the Brat Pack. You're right.
but see, here's the thing. When you make an iconic movie, such as The Breakfast Club, and then you go on to other movies and you're trying to break this, like stereotype that you've already made for yourself,
Yeah.
should you go to a horror, straight to horror, or suspense thriller, or whatever you want to call it? Or should you be more along the, oh, here's Abby. Or should you be more along the lines of pushing the envelope just a little bit longer?
Pushing the envelope. I said
Yeah.
because
One second. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
pushing the envelope because
Okay. Here we go.
Why be typecast?
Oh yeah.
I changed my shirt if we're going to talk Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah.
Now, wait, can I ask you guys something really quick that I tried back when I was still having people on and didn't get lazy and everything? I would ask people, what is the first movie that you guys remember seeing in a theater?
Oh. Muppets Take Manhattan.
Nice. That's a good one.
Death Ship, if you remember that.
I remember
Death.
Ghost Ship.
No, that's a remake.
I don't eat rice after Ghost Ship.
Okay, I didn't know that was a remake. All right, I'll have to check that out. No, I try to ask people that, and I'm sorry to jump right into it.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
Death Ship. Ghost Ship was a remake.
I'll
Death
have
Ship.
to check that out.
It's with that guy. He was in it. He was in Naked Gun. He was the
Leslie
George
Nielsen.
Kennedy.
Oh,
George Kennedy.
Kennedy. Yeah.
George
I was
Kennedy
gonna
was
say,
George Kennedy was the villain of the movie.
okay.
He was a Nazi in that movie, but it's
Ooh.
called Death Ship.
I'll check it out.
That was my first movie. Especially, I won't spoil it for you, but there's a scene where a guy tried to jump off the boat to get away, and he fell on the net. It's still kind of like, oh, I have to watch it to tell myself. All I know is when they hoist this fish net up, that's all I'm gonna leave it at.
Ooh. No, and then I always try to ask people not your favorite movies, but if you had to take like between 3 and 5 movies to a desert island, like ones you could rewatch, what would they be?
You said
or I can let you guys think about it.
No, I have to pick.
Well, me and him were already going to agree on one: Return of the Living Dead. Yeah,
For Living Dead, The Raid.
Nice.
The Raid. Raid's gonna be one of them. The original Punisher for me with Dolph Lundgren. Season of the Witch.
Yep.
And can we put Mafia in it too? Mafia movies? Because I'm gonna end up saying either Scarface. I'm gonna say Scarface is either one of them or The Departed.
Ooh.
Departed was good. Return of the Living Dead, definitely. Demons. Now this last one, because there's only 3 movies I would definitely take with me. This last one's going to be a shocker, but Heart and Souls with Robert Downey Jr. and Elizabeth Shue.
Okay. Those are good choices. And like I always try to tell me, I'm like, not your favorite. They can still be your favorite, but like just ones you're like, I could live with those ones to have.
Oh yeah.
I think I think I'd be crazy to do this, but I really think I'd throw Groundhog Day in mine.
Oh
But
yeah.
I feel like it also might drive me insane.
That's a good Bill Murray movie.
Well, see, if you're watching Groundhog Day every day, you're literally living it.
Right. Exactly.
So yeah, that would drive me crazy.
And it's always funny too, because like, I mean, you guys are movie people too. So I'm sure there's people that ask you guys, or like they know, or they want you to answer like some avant-garde way or something when they ask you about that. And I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure mine would be like Zoolander. And like probably I'd throw Jaws in there for sure. And Predator. Definitely. Predator and Jaws might be interchangeable, but Predator for sure. Probably Zoolander, and honestly The Burbs. Like I said, that's my favorite thing. I love it so much.
Speaking of Predator and people, I don't know why people underrate this movie. People will tell me the same thing. What's your favorite Predator movie? I said no. I said I like Requiem. The
Requiem's great.
AVP, yeah.
Requiem's great.
Because it didn't hold. Nobody was safe. Nobody was safe.
Ooh, there was Hunter S. Thompson, but no, this is my coworker got me this, and I was like, oh my god, this is my favorite guy. But his hand broke, and I was very sad. But it's always funny because like I'm a Yautja, I'm a Predator person, and then my sister's a Xenomorph. That's another one I meant to bring up where I just rewatched Alien and I forgot how. Speaking of music, the absence of music in that is so scary and so good. So good.
They even used it in Requiem.
I will say I tried to. I think the only one I didn't review on my channel was Requiem, but there's something about Danny Glover screaming at everybody in Predator 2 that I love and I don't care. But I will argue till the cows come home that Predator
is even underrated.
Yeah, no, but Predator 1 is a perfect movie and I love it so much. That's probably my favorite movie of all time, honestly.
A 4th movie I would take would be Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
That was another one. That's on its anniversary this year too. I just watched that, and I'm like, why was my sister and I have 2 sisters. I'm the youngest. The middle one is 3 years older than me, but the oldest is 10 years older than me. So her dictating the remote and the Blockbuster rentals, I feel like really had an effect on me.
Oh
Like
yeah.
arachnophobia really scared me a lot.
And I have arachnophobia.
Right. I'm like, I don't even want to think about that helmet and it going. I never forgot that going into that helmet. Ugh. The Faculty. I don't care what anybody says. I love the Faculty.
Oh yeah. Faculty is
There's
great.
definitely a few like Blow. Why was my sister watching Blow with me? I don't know. Like, anyway, yeah. No, I always ask people that though. I'm like, what's the first thing you remember seeing? And like I said, I was raised by the dollar show. So I
Oh
think I
yeah.
saw Titanic there. I
Yep.
think I saw, but the first thing the first thing I remember seeing, man, was hmm, God, I don't even have the answer to my own question. I might have to get back on that one. Oh man, it might be like Space Jam that I have like I know I went to ones before that, but I
Oh
have
yeah.
like a visual, like I remember being there. And then Lord of the Rings changed my life. I remember being like looking down at my aunt and my sisters being like, this isn't changing everybody else's life. This whole
Oh
thing right here, whatever
yeah.
this is my thing. And everybody else doesn't seem as geeked as me. But
It, it brought me in an arch enemy as friends to that movie. I
no,
went to go,
that's
yeah, I went to go see this movie at the it wasn't at the Dollar. I seen it at the 8 Mile store. The Star Theater. It was big. It was like a real
mhm.
big. It was the 8 Mile Road. I know that. I happened to walk in there. They saw the banner. The Christmas tree was up. I had miserable Christmas at the time, and my arch enemy was there.
Oh no.
And I had a yeah. We didn't like each other. We would try to kill each other all the time. And he's standing there, and I seen him, and he looked at me. I looked at him, and I said, "Do we really got to fight here?" And he was just like, I said, he asked me, "What are you doing here?" I go, "The same reason as you." And I called him a name. And I go, he says, uh, I said, "I know the Christmas thing. It's this, and that." I said, I'll tell you what. I said, "You want to see this movie?" I go, "I'll buy the tickets, you buy the popcorn. How about it?" And he looked at me.
Oh,
He goes, "Are you serious?" I go, "Yeah." I go, "Doesn't mean put our, you know what, to the side. Let's." So we sat there through the whole movie, just like we're sitting like this. We're looking at each other. We're just looking at each other, and you're right. It was a life exchanging experience. It was just good. And then
yeah, it was everything.
we started talking about it. So at the time when we would Fight Club before Fight Club happened, we're talking about this movie while we're whatever. And finally, the because like I said before we got into anything, the punches started getting lighter. We started holding back. I said, "You know what? Let's throw in the towel. We'll go to the next movie."
You guys pulled a real Legless and Gimli moment.
Bingo, bingo. And then we for every year till the third movie we went. I
Oh
think it's what showed. I
my
think
God,
he
that's
showed.
awesome.
Yeah, the same movie theater. The last one that we seen was at the where Sears was at. The Lincoln
Yeah,
Company.
no, the
Oh yeah.
Star 8 or
The
whatever.
Star 8.
Oh my
Yep.
God, yeah, by the Chinese buffet. It's the
Oh my
best.
Corniest movie I ever seen at that theater, the Star 8, was Night at the Roxbury.
Oh my
oh
God.
jeez.
I went with Littlefinger. We got a friend that we call Littlefinger. We can't name his name, but we call him Littlefinger.
That's funny.
the last
That's
thing the last thing I read the last movie I've seen there was the last movie I've seen there was Phantom Menace, I believe. The Phantom Menace
oh
was
my
the last
God.
movie I've seen. Or it was one of the Austin Power movies. That was, that was the last time I seen it.
I'm not
Man,
gonna lie.
I remember seeing Phantom Menace with my uncle, and he was so upset. And I was a little kid, so I was like, I don't know why my uncle was so upset. And he like forgot about us. Like he like went stomping out, and me and my sister and my cousins were like, "What is going on?" I think it was the first time in my life where like, besides like an argument happening, I was like, "This adult is very not okay right now,"
Yeah, yeah,
and
that's
I don't know what to do. Like, what's
Uh,
happening right now? Oh my God, it was so funny. And I brought it up not that long ago. He's like, I didn't do that. And I was like, you did. I was like, you left your daughters and your nieces and went stomping through the atrium to your vehicle and like kind of just forgot we were there. It was so funny. But yeah, no, a bunch of theaters closed down around here and it makes me sad. It really does.
Yeah.
But hey.
That area is sad, man. I tried to drive by there. I'm like,
Well, see, we're actually lucky because where we live, well, at least me and my wife, where we live, we got like 4 different theaters that are less than a mile away from us.
That's awesome.
You know,
I always tell people, like, you guys know how they'll lie and they'll say something's an IMAX when it's not. It's just a
yeah,
bigger screen. And I always tell people, apparently a lot of places don't have one at all. And we have two. We have the one in Ann Arbor and then we have the one in Dearborn. And I got really lucky because my coworker at Ford at the time, his wife worked at the Ann Arbor one for the Batman. And she called, she was like, I can get you in 3 days early. And I was like, what? I was like, that's all. She's like, but you can't tell nobody, yada, yada, yada. I was like, oh no, I'll be there. And it was awesome. And I talked about it on the channel, I think. And I was like, wow, the last time I saw a Batman movie, like opening day or before or whatever, it was The Dark Knight. And it was at the Henry Ford IMAX. It was the first thing that I spent, like, it was when you could get tickets online at first.
yeah.
There was like a
remember that?
and I remember like I took like babysitting money, like money I earned, and told my mom, like, will you get me these tickets? And nobody wanted to go with me. And I took my cousin and my sister because they were the only ones with cars. And I couldn't drive for like another year or something. And I looked it up, and apparently only like 30 theaters did that at midnight. When we got there, it was nuts. It was, you could tell the workers were overwhelmed. It was I've never seen like adults be pacified like a baby until that opening Dark Knight. It was a magical thing to see for sure. Because, like I said, everybody's like, people are dressed up. The news was there. People had Batmobiles there. These poor workers were like, what is happening? What is going on? And I remember they were like, we're going to have a costume contest. Everybody in costume come up, and then the prizes were like a Thomas Edison light bulb and like and like a Lewis and Clark poster. Like, you could tell they did not know what to do with us. And I remember my sister was like, "Man, I hope people aren't all unruly and everything during the movie." The second Heath Ledger came on screen, it was like, nope, nope. And it was a really cool thing. But I didn't know that till like the past year, that not everybody had that at midnight, and I was really lucky, and it was so cool. That was one of the coolest theater experiences I ever had. That's for sure.
All right. So I gotta ask Abby a question.
Sure.
Whose wand is it?
Oh, it's the Elder Wand.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, dude. Of
Oh, there
course
we
it's
go.
the Elder Wand. No, it was
Yeah.
funny because this was, well, I don't know if you guys have tattoos. There's most of mine are pretty well thought out. But then I was like, I want a Harry Potter one, but I don't know what I want, and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I think I want this. I think I want that. And I walked into my tattoo guy. He's done all of them. And I go, Jack, I think I'm going to get one of the Deathly Hallows. And he goes, I don't know what you're talking about, but I swear to God, if it's a triangle with with the circle on it, I'm not doing it. And I was like, no, I was like, I want the whole thing. I want the wand. And I was like, you can do whatever here and there, but whatever. And yeah, no, I love it. Honestly, what I want to get on the other side is Robert Baratheon's Warhammer from Game of Thrones. That's my
Oh yeah.
other goal.
Got the Night King here.
Yes,
I
yes.
can see it.
I have Words Are Wind. But what's funny is, like, I felt like a real loser when I went to a music festival. I went to Bonnaroo, and I was like cleaning up the tent area, and somebody behind me, I thought it was my friends, because like my friends brought other people I didn't really know, and they were like, hey, can we come in? And I'm like, yeah, sure, I'm just picking up. So my back's to them, and then I turned around, no clue who these people are. But we had a huge Martell flag up. That was our, like, you can find us or find our
Right.
tent. And the one guy goes, oh yeah, we saw your Martell flag. I think they had a Stark flag. We're the Starks down there. I was like, oh, okay, cool, blah, blah. And then I was like, oh yeah, what's this tattoo is? And he goes, oh, I have a Rob Stark one. And this guy lifts up his pant leg, and he has the wolf head on a guy with all the arrows on it. It said kings should keep their word most of all. And I was like, oh, that's sick. And then it got even better because the girl with him goes, oh yeah, and I have this. Lifts up her shirt, and like Tupac, she has dark wings, dark words. And I was like, oh yeah, I got this. Like, it's cool. And I was like, geez, man. His was really cool. Hers was cool too, but I was just like, was not expecting that. Was not expecting that to take place. And it was really cool.
It makes
No.
you shrink when
Now I'll ask you guys this one if we're gonna get into it. Who are your favorite Game of Thrones characters? And I won't judge you, I promise.
No. You know what? It took me a while. It took
I,
me a
I was gonna say
while.
we can go main ones and secondary ones, but like
No, it took me a while. I hated this person for a while, but then he grew. The fucker grew on. I'm sorry. It's gonna be PG
I know I
13.
try to avoid it too. My old videos look like mother effer what? My
Right.
mom yelled at me. She's like, "You can just stop swearing so much." I'm like, "Okay."
Um.
You do swear a lot, but that's cool.
Hey,
I've gotten better.
it's in our
That's right.
genes. Hey, I'm a Southwest. It's gonna be.
Yeah.
I worked in a factory for 10 years. That was just how we talked.
Oh,
I worked
yeah.
in retail for 20 years, so
You understand.
yeah,
Shoot, I'm in a factory now, so.
Get ready. Get ready.
be ready for it. Okay, my first favorite. My first favorite. It took me a while. Like I said, I repeat. Um, Joffrey.
Really? Okay. What do we talk? Do we mean we love Joffrey or you love the actor doing so good at it?
Oh, I was sold.
Really?
I
That you're the I
was.
will tell you this, out of all the Game of Thrones people I've talked to, out of all the conventions, I've never heard anybody say Joffrey.
I told you when we switch information, I'll show you pictures and he the person that I bumped into dressed up like called me a demon dog, and you'll see the picture why. But I like Joffrey. Don't ask me why. I mean,
I can
yeah,
respect it. I can respect it for sure.
I'm the
Because
king. He
people think
shouldn't be
I'm
repeating.
nuts.
He went ballistic, but he meant it. He meant business.
Okay.
I give
That's
him
fair. That's
okay.
fair.
I'll tell you this. I'll tell you this. If he was still in charge and didn't get killed off, that 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 church, that sentinel wouldn't have taken over like that when they took them
Okay.
on.
Here's my thing. Robert Baratheon's my main man. Robert Baratheon, Tywin
Yeah,
Lannister, and
I was about to get the
yeah,
Tywin.
Tywin, Robert, and like favorite. And then there's other ones where I'm like I said, I have my main ones that I love, and
Right.
then the secondary ones where people are like, "What is wrong with you?" And one of them is like Qyburn. I love Qyburn. I don't care what anybody says. I love Qyburn. Okay.
Exactly.
Oh man, I don't know. Oh, a third favorite would probably be. I don't know. I do love the Dothraki, like as a whole, but Khal Drogo's not in it enough for me to
No,
love.
he's only in 3 episodes.
Hmm. Man, probably. Man, probably Oberyn. Oberyn Martell would be my
Yeah,
third slot. Yeah,
yeah.
but the
Mine's
Hound's
like I said.
close. The Hound is real close.
I wish he did more when they came to
Yeah.
But no, like I said, Joffrey's one of them. Definitely Tywin. Definitely Tywin. When he was cutting up that horse, like he was talking all normal, and the skin fell off, and
I went to the man.
Tywin. Even when he went out, sitting there, but
Yeah.
still he
I have a
didn't.
whole argument for Tywin.
Um, another one is my favorite is the guy with the many faces. The
Jake and Hagar. No,
Three
because you want to
Wishes
know what I
guy.
realized this is kind of an not obscure, but it's Aemond or it's the blind man, the blind maester at the wall. He's my favorite Targaryen. I have a whole theory that if he would have taken the throne instead of passing it up, the Targaryens would have never fallen.
Right. No, you're right.
Good job, Aemond.
You're
Good
right.
job.
You're right. Those
Yeah.
three that I just mentioned. God, I just got off track. The other one, the creepiest one that sold me too was that warlock.
Oh, the warlocks. Yeah. No,
You know
well,
which one?
here's the one where people will always be like, "What is wrong with you?" I love Roose Bolton.
The
Not Ramsey, not his son. I love Roose Bolton. I love Roose Bolton. I think the Lord of the Dreadfort is the coolest name. His nickname is the Leech Lord.
Leech Lord.
Like he's cool when he whispers, everybody listens. Come on, that's a cool character.
All right.
Leech Lord. Yeah. Yeah.
I always laugh when fandoms get mad too, and they're like, "How can you like that?" And I'm like, "Cause it's made up."
Right.
That's why.
Real. Come on. And And of course, the fifth one I probably would like out of all of them was the guy who reminded me of Boba Fett. Uh, you seen him? He was in John Wick. He was helping what's his face with the hand with Jamie, who got his hand cut off. He was
Oh
helping
my God.
the little guy. He has the beard.
Um,
He's the one that killed the guy and he threw him in that hole with oh god, I see his face. I can't remember his name.
helping Jamie. Oh, Braun.
Braun.
Yeah, Braun of the
Braun.
Blackwater.
The Black one. Yeah, Braun.
Yeah,
Braun, I
Braun's
like
great.
Braun. He reminded me of Boba Fett.
Yeah, no, a lot of people like I know that's a big theory some people have that he is Rhaegar Targaryen. I'm not one of those people because I feel like
yeah.
yeah. Well, I feel like if they do I feel like they do anything with him and make him anybody, it will take away from how cool he is.
Yeah.
That's what I think. Like he's just the rogue cool guy. Don't
I
do no.
believe I believe that he started the Mandalorians. That's how I'm sold by him because he was, he just he asked me, why did you help me? He says, I know you'd pay. Or, he was like, he
I
got
love
his,
Braun.
and he lived.
No, that was one of like when he first meets him and they get let go. And this is what I always like when it's like reading the book and then watching it because back then they had no budget when they were doing that. And like I think Tyrion gets knocked out in the show. But in the book, I always love it because Braun says, like, no, we're gonna follow that guy into battle. And he points at the mountain, and Tyrion's like, are you out of your effing mind? Like, we are not doing
Oh,
that.
yeah.
And he was like, no, because everyone's gonna be looking at him and not at us. And I always love a character that's like, no, I'll fight, but if I can avoid it,
Right.
I'm going to. I'm going to survive is what I'm going to do.
Out of the two actors that played the Mountain, which one would be yours? Two
Ooh.
different ones played him.
I mean, that second one really the second one's size really brought it home.
Yeah, he was bulked.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure, definitely. But I do it. I mean, because the mountain doesn't really talk much anyway. But I think Tywin has a couple scenes with them and calls him like a moron. And I did like that actor too, though.
I liked him too. I liked him
Yeah,
too. Big Spartacus guy.
yeah, he had a good voice too.
He killed that horse. Yeah, so I buy him.
Honestly, that's what got me to read them was after Oberyn's death. Because I remember I was like, I'm done. I was like, I'm done here. I'm reading this now. I'm getting into it. That's what's happening. But
So
I like the mountain. The mountain, what a cool nickname that is, too. The mountain who rides. That's a sweet
Right.
nickname.
I
That's an
got a
awesome nickname.
I got a couple characters I like. One of them, I'm probably going to be the only person that's ever going to say this, but like we were talking earlier, Hard Home is one of my favorite episodes.
Mhm.
But the mother of the children, I like her. She had an
Yeah,
impact on just
I was
that
just saying,
one episode.
for someone who's in it for 3 minutes, you remember her. You
Oh yeah,
remember, and that says something in a show of that magnitude and that sprawling.
oh yeah.
That's for
Her.
sure.
And then Ygritte,
I love Egret.
and
She's
then
great.
my third, and not particularly in this order, so this person is probably my favorite. But no one gives Sam the credit.
See, there's where we're gonna differ. I love Sam,
Oh yeah,
I love the idea of Sam, but I feel like on paper Sam works better because in the show there were a few times where I was like, get the hell out of the way. Get out of the
yeah.
way, Sam. I totally respect your
he would have
strengths here.
died.
Move.
We'll see. But what makes him such a good
No,
character?
he's a good character, but I'm just saying he would have died.
Right. But what makes him such a good character is he was at all the right places at all the right times, and he's the one who found out how to kill the
He
White
found the ice,
Walkers.
right?
Oh, I'll tell you how like insane. I have it all color coded around here somewhere. I have all the books color coded in Connection Insanity, and at one point I was like, I think they comment on it one time. Sam's reading about he's trying to find stuff. He's reading in the library, and he makes a comment about paper mites. And I had a whole theory at one point that the Night King was controlling paper mites to eat away at the papers so that nobody would ever find how to get rid of them. I don't think that will ever come up or to fruition, but I was like,
That's
no,
that's
this
a good
one,
theory.
I need to let go.
Yeah.
Oh my
Well,
god,
see,
the Night King. You got to see my
there
Oh,
was a
put money in it.
there was a lot of characters who never had interactions, who I think had they had interactions probably would have made the show a lot better.
Yeah.
And I'll take, for instance, just like, let's just take the Children of the Forest.
Let's.
Now, if they were able to, say, interact with the Targaryens or Baratheons.
No.
Well,
But
no. Oh, go ahead.
Okay. They only interact, like, I mean, officially, they only interacted with the first men. So that would have been like most families from the north, but like that's all kind of, I don't know if there's any actual like interaction with Targaryens or Baratheons. Because now I'm getting crazy. The first Baratheon was a half Targaryen.
Yeah.
That was his bastard. His bastard brother became the first hand of the king. And then they were like, yeah, you're not a Targaryen, but it was rumored that he was a bastard brother to Aegon the Conqueror. But I love that's the kicker with, I love Robert. He's my favorite. But that's the kicker with Robert being so anti-Targaryen. I'm like,
Robert.
That's why you got the throne. You have Targaryen blood. But it's a whole thing.
Yeah.
Well, see, here's the thing.
I was gonna say, I can hit you guys with some stuff. Like, I don't think Tywin could have kids. I don't think any of those kids are his.
I don't even know how.
Lannister, Tywin Lannister.
I don't think any of. I think they're all the mad kids.
I don't think they are either.
Yeah, I think this man's so consumed with family, couldn't have one.
I don't think he did. If anybody would have followed, if anybody would have followed him just out of that group, out of his children, I'm thinking it would have been the little guy, because he wanted to be him.
Oh yeah, no, there's a really good. I think he has a Tywin has a sister in the book, and she goes to talk to Jaime, and she's like, "Oh, I kept telling your dad, like, your son, and Jaime's like, "Oh yeah, me," and then she goes, "Oh no, not you." She's like, "I'm talking about Tyrion. I'm talking about Tyrion. I'm not talking about you." And he's like, "What the fuck? No." And oh my god, I always love that too. And there's always going to be stuff cut out from books to shows, and I understand that, but and some things they did very well, and then some things I'm like, what were you doing out here?
Well, let's face it. In my opinion, I can't really speak for everybody. The most hardcore, like, just if it was a modern day thing, the only original gangster I would think of is the lady who poisoned Joffrey.
Oh, you're talking about
I love Olenna Tyrell. I hate the Tyrells though.
She was like, "I killed your bastard." I was like, "Oh hell!"
Oh yeah, like a boss. Oh, I love her. She's great. And I'll tell you what, in the book, I think Tywin was in on it. I do. I'm like, he's like, I couldn't control this kid.
He was disgusted with him. A man has to keep repeating he's a king. He's not a king.
Yeah, Tywin's the best, man. He really is. But that's the funny thing too. I always love when he's telling Cersei, like, can you stop with this woman crap? Because it's not that you're a woman. I don't mistrust you because you're a woman. I mistrust you because you're not as smart as you think you are. And he doesn't underestimate women. He knows Olenna Tyrell is formidable. He knows, like, you're slick. And that's what I always love about Tywin.
We have history. We have no love for each other, but we have history. Yeah.
And then I'm like, whenever anybody brings up Tywin, they're like, oh, this and that. I was like, Tywin overthrew an entire dynasty because he heard that the Mad King touched his wife. I'm like, it was all for his wife. And I'm like, how can we not love this guy?
How can nobody not know that?
Well, and then let's talk about the best speech in the entire show. When Tyrion was on trial.
Oh my God, it's the best.
Like,
oh my God, it's the best.
I literally at work sometimes where I used to work, people would come up and start bothering me. And I'm like, I did not. And I'll start quoting it. And I'll be like, you sons of whores.
No, man. It's funny because I had an issue at work and then they tried to kind of flip it on me. And I was like, are you kidding with me right now? I was like, this is all show. And that's exactly what I was telling people. I was like, you know that scene with Tyrion yelling at everybody, telling them this is BS? I'm like, that's exactly what just happened.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He was the first I do. I wish they killed him.
I mess with my wife sometimes. Like, she'll be she'll just be sitting there and complaining about something. I'll be like, I sit here and listen to know things instead of saying I drink, because I don't drink anymore, but I'm like,
Yeah.
I listen and I know things. And she's like, what's that mean? I was like, please just stop.
And I always, and that's, I was gonna say, that reminds me of, like, I do love Varys. I love the Master of Whisperers. I love him a lot. And I always love when he's like, I'm gonna keep going, man.
He got sold out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's one of the ones where I'm like, ugh, I don't think this will. I think that that's another theory I had, is that I think that Varys was kind of like Arya, and he got really high up in the Faceless Men and then left, because in the book he's very, like, you know how they make Arya dress up and
Yeah.
before he can take faces. In the book, like, Ned even runs into him and is like, I didn't even know that was you, and like, you can never hear him coming and all this stuff. And then the only one who calls him out is who's the terrible whore that Tyrion falls in love with. She's the only one, like, that's a man. And Tyrion's like, no, it's not. That's a pregnant lady. And she's like, that's a man. And he's like, no, it's not. And she's like, I'm telling you, in my profession, if I don't know who people are, I get killed. So I'm telling you. And then Varys is like, haha, she was right. And Tyrion's like, I didn't even recognize you. And I'm like, who else does that? The Faceless Men. But no, I do. I love it. I do love it. I do love the book series. I'm still mad at George R. R. Martin. Give us our books.
Let's talk about the Red Wedding.
Oh my God.
Speaking of red, yeah.
I do.
That's when I knew nobody was safe in that show.
Right. No, that is what it was. And honestly, I think that was a lot that left a bad taste in people's mouth later on, because then it wasn't so much like that. Like, we still lost people at the Battle of Winterfell and stuff, but not like we were. And I feel like The Walking Dead kind of suffered from that too, because it was like, oh, here goes Shane.
Walking Dead.
I'm like,
I love Walking Dead.
Oh, I am waiting for Dictator Rick to come back. Don't worry. I love Tyrant Rick. I need Tyrant Rick, not Farmer Rick. I need Rick. I'm doing what I want. And if nobody else listens to me, I don't care. I love Rick Grimes. He's one of my favorite characters ever.
All right. So there's one thing Game of Thrones, from the book to the show, and we got about 7 minutes left. This stuff goes by so fast, but one thing from the book to the show that they did not do, that I think was a big, like, mishap or misstep on them, Lady Stoneheart.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I think that in the book, Lady Stoneheart is going to be how Jon comes back.
Yeah.
Because that would make Catelyn come full circle. Like, because you have been a scumbag to this baby forever, and then your final way to give the gift will be to bring him back. And I think at the end of in the last one, they're in the north. So I'm like, I think that might happen. I know a lot of people think he's going to get lit on fire and then come back. There's a lot of different theories, but I was always like, no, Lady Stoneheart's going to do it, because then it would make sense for Catelyn. But they did drop the ball hard. My issue with it was everybody got hooked because it was real people. Like, I'm going to say real world, but it was like real people stuff, real people stuff, real people stuff. Yeah. Then we eased into the magic. We got dragons, we got White Walkers, magic. And then we went hard magic with the Battle of Winterfell. And then it was like slamming on the brakes and going back to the real world. And I'm like, that's too jarring for people. It's too, we get, the biggest one is Greyjoy.
Greyjoy.
God, he's like a drug drinking, magic messing with crazy. And I'm like, oh my God, you could have done so much with him. He has a horn that controls drag. You didn't have to go all the way, but he has like a Valyrian suit of armor. He has really cool stuff going on. And I'm like, if you guys would have shifted into, let's not make this guy just like a weird perv, and let's make him like the way he kind of even is, even a little bit the way he is in the book, you could have had a way cooler character. Like, and we didn't do that, but I do feel like it was just going like magic, and then no more magic, and we were all going, okay.
It all went backwards. And it got political all of a sudden.
Well, I will tell you though, and even though it was the darkest scene of the whole show, and you couldn't really see anything, the battle for Winterfell, when they were fighting all the when they were fighting all the zombies.
Yeah.
That first wave of the Dothraki, when they went out and you saw just the freaking one guy come back, I'm like, something tells me I should get the hell out of there.
I liked it. I did. I do know it was too dark, but I did like it. And it's funny because
I should have killed them all. They would have died. Everybody.
I watch some things and I'm like, this is how you do it. Like I might was it the Dark Knight? It was either the Dark Knight or the Dark Knight Rises, and I was like, this is how you shoot in the dark. Why can't you guys get that? Why couldn't you get that down? You guys, my thing is, if you have no excuse, like you before in the first couple seasons, you might not have had the budget for things. You had the budget. You had the budget, and you had like the best of the best working on this stuff. What was going on here, HBO? What are you doing? What are you doing?
Requiem was like that. It was too dark. Alien vs Predator. Requiem was
Yeah.
too dark, but I got it.
Well, what do you guys? Are you guys watching House of the Dragon?
I finished it.
I haven't.
I watched it when it came out. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
haven't watched it yet because my wife wants me to watch it with her.
Okay.
So I was like, I want to watch it though, but that's one thing me and her do watch. Like every day, every Sunday we'd get off work and watch Game of Thrones.
Are they doing a season 2?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay. All
I
right.
think
all
it's
this canceling. That's all I heard.
Oh no, it's coming.
Yeah.
It's coming. It
I
should
just
be.
I just thought of another character that I thought was pretty badass, but that was kind of toward the end, and she died during the battle for Winterfell.
Oh, Lyanna Mormont.
Yes.
Lyanna
I was
Mormont's
like,
great.
when
I
she
love
was,
Lyanna Mormont.
oh yeah, when
Who's on the Red Witch?
no, the little
And
girl.
still,
Little
you
girl-
ignored the
little girl.
call.
Yeah. Oh.
We know no king, but the king in the north, whose name is Stark. That's my favorite speech is when she's telling all those guys like, I no, get it together.
Oh.
She's like, we remember the North. I was like, damn, this little 7-year-old girl's upstaging everybody.
And this is when because I'm always fighting between my fan brain and my movie brain. But I was like, no, I really liked how they went when they first go to her and they're like, will you give us your men? It's like, okay, well, who would be the only one to believe you about White Walkers? A little kid. A little kid who's raised on those stories. When she tells that maester, like, why don't you shut your mouth? Like, I'm listening to what they're saying. It's like, who else would really believe you but a kid who's like, no, I'm scared of that. And I was like really afraid of it a year ago. So
I liked it when the guy crushed her and she still stabbed him in the eye.
Yeah.
Killed it.
That was one.
I think that's one of the rare times
one?
when everybody was like, we're really upset you died. But the way you went out was so cool.
It was
that
cool. It was,
we'll accept
you're
it.
going with me.
That was
Oh yeah.
the giant was 1-1.
What's that one?
He
the
was
one that John saves.
Yeah.
Not saves, but like leaves Hardhome.
Yeah.
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 One. Okay,
Yeah.
it took me a second.
All right, so we got about a
I
minute.
was upset. Oh, I'll just say this and then we can wrap it up. I was just upset that we didn't get to see anybody riding a direwolf.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That upset me.
Now I will say the way they filmed the dire wolf and running again at the Battle of Winterfell, running with the horses, like you had all the horses, and then all of a sudden you just saw the wolf come up. I was like, I'm sold.
I will say that their CGI for the dragons and the wolves was very good and very cool.
But
you could have done more.
There was money into that.
Oh yeah. Well, we got a minute left. Do you want to plug all your socials and let everybody know where they can see you?
I'm Abby on Motor City Nerds on YouTube. I'm Abby Anarchy on everything else. I just really want to thank you for having me on. I really appreciate that. And I always love collabing with people and I need to do it more.
Hey, like I said, you always got a home with NC-17 if you ever want to join us. So
welcome.
Yeah, and thank you so much for making me feel welcome and being so cool about everything because some people are not nice on the internet.
Oh yeah. Well, trust me, I know.
Already subscribed.
Yeah, he subscribed to you.
Oh yeah, and I send me all of your stuff too because I think I got the right one. I know I'm subscribed on YouTube, so either way. But thank you guys so much for having me on for real.
Oh yeah, no problem. This has been NC-17. George being a guest. Abby and Motor City Nerds, thank you for being a guest. And until next time, stay NC-17.